Has it ever occurred to you how many men of less worth than yourself obtain so many of life's rewards, while you, who can imagine so much, have so very little? This is just a reminder of the evening. Something so that you'll know you were here. You're going to remember this evening for a very long time.
Welcome to the Dark Black Magic channel. This is going to be a continuation of the Dark Black Magic series. It's all in the movies. And today's movie is going to be on The Golden Child, featuring Eddie Murphy. It was one of those movies I continued to watch even as I got older, when I began to start looking at movies in a different light. Instead of just taking movies at face value, I started looking for the occult meanings in movies, or hidden meanings in movies. But one of the main topics of this movie that I want to focus on is innocence, and what it means to be innocent, or what it means to be pure. We're all taught to believe that being innocent or being pure means to have this Christian type holier than thou mentality, where maybe you don't cuss and you don't drink and you say and you do all the right things, but it's quite the opposite of that. Being pure and being innocent, it's not about what you display outwardly. Even if you take the Christian interpretation of it, that's exactly what it means. Jesus had a problem with the Pharisees because they were hypocrites. They knew all the scriptures, but yet they practiced none of it. And this is exactly the society, or this modern day Babylon, that we live in. There's an important scene I want to play. I'm going to go ahead and let it play, and then I'll chime in.
All right, come on now.
A child has been kidnapped.
When?
5 days ago in northeastern Tibet.
Well, Tibet's a little bit out of my territory.
This child is special, Mr. Jarrell. His destiny is to save the world. 400 years ago, the New Chong Oracle predicted that the Gompantama, that is Tibetan for Golden Child, would be taken to the new city, the city of the angels, and would be rescued by a man who is no angel.
And who's that?
You, Mr. Jarrell.
So if you notice, the woman in this video, her name is Kinang in the movie. I believe the actress is Charlotte Lewis. Notice that she says the Golden Child will be taken to the city of angels, but he will be rescued by a man that is no angel. So when she said the city of angels, and we've all heard the city of angels, it's actually the opposite of what you may think. You might as well interpret that as the city of demons. Everything in this world is flipped. That's one of the most important things I took away from Bobby Hemmett and Bobby Hemmett's lectures, was about how everything's reversed in the movies and everything is flipped upside down. So Eddie Murphy's character is definitely not someone that this society or this world will consider innocent or pure of heart or anything like that, but that's exactly what his character is. Chandler Gerald, or Eddie Murphy, his job or his profession is to find missing children. Doesn't make a lot of money, he just enjoys working with children.
I like working with children.
Hey, Chandler, come on, are you okay?
Shut up!
But based on his demeanor, you wouldn't be able to tell that. He's not here under the guise of helping children and harming children. No, he's really out here daily looking for missing children. That's all he does. That's what he was meant to do. But yet his character is not somebody who goes to church. He cusses, he drinks, he has sex. You know, all of these things that the church would say is unholy or is not pure. It's not innocent. So like I said, those things have nothing at all or have very little to do with what it means to be actually pure. So in this next scene, Kinang is going to wind up convincing Chandler, or Eddie Murphy's character, to go ahead and come along with her so she can explain what's going on and explain the situation. So she can introduce him to this half dragon, half woman creature that's in a basement in Chinatown. As bizarre as it sounds, he comes along. Of course, he wants to find a missing child. I'm gonna go ahead and let this scene play and then I'll chime in.
You may speak with her. She can't hear you.
Tell me about the Golden Child.
Every 1,000 generations, a perfect child is born. A golden child.
Could you tell me why the people that took him are trying to make him eat blood?
Nothing in this world will hurt him. But if he were to pollute himself with anything impure, he would become vulnerable.
And so Chandler Gerald meets with the dragon. And if you notice, she tells him nothing in this world can harm the golden child. No weapon, nobody of this world can harm him. But if he was to pollute himself with anything impure, then he could be harmed. And what they were talking about was blood. If he were to eat any kind of blood, it would make him impure. So just like our brother Bobby Hemmett, before he passed on, he was talking about getting off the meat. No, at some point, we're all going to have to get off the meat. We're all going to eventually have to find a way to get off the meat because of the blood. Something else that stood out to me, the golden child had to be contained with evil on all four sides. So this next scene right here, if you notice, the golden child is surrounded on all four sides. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 people around him. They're in a meditation state or a prayer state. And I'm not too familiar with some of these sigils. Maybe there's some of you guys in the comment section that can point to what these are. They could be just Hollywood gibberish, or they could have actual meaning. But this is the only way that they can contain him, is by the sigils. Now, whether or not you all choose to believe in the power of symbolism is up to you. But this is very real. It's a very real thing. There are a lot of people within the occult world that use sigils and use symbolism. Symbolism is in everything, whether you choose to acknowledge it or not. Symbols have power, they have meaning. That's why every major company has a logo. And a lot of these logos, you'll find hidden meanings within the actual meaning of them because they contain power. Each symbol or sigil contains a different meaning, depending on what you're trying to bring into fruition or bring into your reality. So that's one of the ways that they're able to contain the golden child. It can't harm him, it can only contain your power. So a lot of times we surround ourselves with different sigils, even sigils within our own house that we don't even realize are sigils. Whether it be a Nike symbol or a Reebok symbol, or a cereal box logo, we surround ourselves with these symbols not knowing the hidden power or the context behind them. So it's very important that we're mindful what kind of symbols that we have in our household and what kind of symbols we have on our bodies. So this is going to be the introduction of Saddam Lumsi, who was the villain of the movie, or the Dark Force. And Saddam Lumsi is a demon who's going to tap into occult powers for evil and to do harm. He's the one who has kidnapped the golden child. So this is one of the things when I was watching it that definitely popped out at me. This is something I've been doing on my own. And it hit me that a lot of different religions, do this. They'll have a prayer cloth, or they'll have some beads, which is a form of a sigil, and they'll go into their meditation. So that's exactly what Saddam Lumsi is going to do in this scene. He's going to get on his knees with the sigil by his side and go into his meditation. Now in the movie they portray it as he's actually talking to the devil or the demon, which we know that doesn't exist.
But why is the child still alive?
You have no reason to fear him. He is surrounded at all times and in all the four directions by evil.
One of the main things I noticed in the clip right here was the symbolism that he was using with his fingers. A lot of the symbolism that you think means this or that doesn't really mean what you thought it meant. I mean, do you really think that they would give you something that is good for you, and they would tell you what is good for you, and they would tell you what is bad for you in the movie? They don't even give you clean water. They don't even give you clean air to breathe. So it makes very little sense they would put the actual meaning of things in the movies.
Tomorrow, you will go with Hinang to Tibet to obtain the dagger.
Hey, Hey, man, I ain't going to no Tibet just 'cause I had a crazy dream. This is getting ridiculous.
Only the chosen one can obtain a knife.
Will you go?
So Keeling is someone in this movie, she has a high level of understanding of the occult world. So Keeling is going to have to convince Chandler to go to Tibet in order to retrieve the knife. And it's obvious in this movie that Eddie has an attraction to this woman. He's already asked her up to his room on many occasions. On each occasion, she's turned him down. You can tell that her character has some level of attraction to Gerald as well. So she's asked to lie down with Gerald. It's the only way for him to trust her and to truly know her. Once you go into somebody, you can truly know them on a deeper level, not just a carnal level, but on a spiritual level. She's gonna go ahead and do her part, and Chandler's gonna go ahead and sleep with her. Then she's gonna try to convince him to go to Tibet. I'm gonna go ahead and let this scene play, and then I'll chime in.
Hey, I don't know whether or not you wanted cream and sugar, so I left the coffee black.
I want you to go to Tibet.
I'll go. I'll go to Tibet.
It's a lot easier to get a man to do what you want to do after you've given yourself to him. That's just how it is. Men will give up and do a lot of things once they know a woman. It's just in our nature. So Eddie Murphy's character, Chandler, is going to go ahead and go to Tibet to try to retrieve the knife. So Eddie's going to fly all the way to Tibet to get the knife. In order to retrieve the knife, he's going to have to keep himself pure, keep his thoughts pure, while trying to make his way across this bridge that apparently has no bottom. And he's got to try to carry this water without spilling it. If he spills the water, he won't be able to retrieve the knife. So when he gets to the knife, it's covered in flames. And most people probably would have tried to use the water to extinguish the flame. So the answer to the riddle is to keep himself pure, he's got to drink the water. Water, water, water. Water is the key to life. You want to extinguish a lot of things in your life, you have to drink water. That's one of the first cures of anything. You're having pains. One of the first things I say, drink more water. A lot of the times our parents grew up telling us, you know, anytime you went to your mom or your dad, oh, my back hurts, drink some water. I fell down, drink some water. There's some humor in that, but at the same time, there's a lot of truth. Water is the key to life. I try to drink at least 1 gallon a day. If nothing else, you'll have better skin. So if you don't know by now, you need to start drinking more water. So the character Keeling is going to have a chat with her father. Now the fact that this guy's her father doesn't really unfold into this scene right here. I'm going to go ahead and let this scene play, and then I'll chime in.
The American. He's a fool.
But he's brave.
He's irresponsible.
He's generous.
He thinks of nothing but protecting his own feelings. He believes in nothing.
And still he does what is right.
So one of the first things that stood out to me was she said she arranged herself with the American. And like I told you earlier, the American is a substitute for black man. So she arranged herself with a black man. And she goes in to talk about how he believes in nothing, but yet he does what is right. Like I said, believing in nothing is not necessarily a bad thing. Pure of heart doesn't mean walking around not cussing or not drinking. But that same person that, gets all worked up about you cussing and saying 1 or 2 bad words or whatever the case may be, that's the same person that loves to talk behind people's back. And they just usually have a very unpleasant attitude about them, or some kind of air about them that it just makes them unpleasant to be around. But those are the kind of people that I choose not to surround myself with. Maybe that's why they say in the Bible, Jesus hung around the sinners and the prostitutes. She goes to her father looking for reasons why not to like him, because she really doesn't, she can't even explain why she likes him, because based on what she's seen, And based on what she's used to, these aren't necessarily qualities that the world would look upon as good qualities or qualities you would want in a husband. But the father, he's a monk or a priest, so he has a higher understanding of what a good man should be and what a good fit for his daughter would be. Like I said, she already came to her father telling him that she's arranged herself with him, meaning that she's lied down with him, meaning this is going to be her mate. She understands that. He understands that. So he's going to break it down to her, give her a little bit of game about what it is, and then basically he's going to give her his blessing so she can go ahead and settle down with him. So this is going to be the final clip I'm going to show of the movie. So Gerald recovers the knife from the temple. And in this scene right here, you can see the dichotomy in the two chosen ones right here. They're in the car together here. I'm going to go ahead and let the video play and then I'll chime in.
There are no keys in the car. There are no keys. Oh, come on. Come on, come on, come on! Everything's gonna be okay. I know. Well, fasten your seatbelt, kid.
So the golden child touches Gerald on the hand, and just by that touch, he knows everything's gonna be okay. And of course, he winds up saving the day. He winds up killing Saddam Lumsi with the knife, and everybody lives happily ever after. So if you haven't seen this movie, I suggest you check it out. Even if you have seen it, it's definitely worth watching again. You'll definitely probably pick up some more meanings. And some of you guys may even have different interpretations. I would love to hear it in the comment section. And we can all just share with one another and, bring enlightenment to one another. That's what this channel's for. So thank you for watching. Peace and chaos.